Okay, so one of the things that you talk about in White is a little bit about sort of how the critics treat particular films, and how if you criticize a film in an honest way, then this is treated horribly. Whereas if people go out of their way not to critique a film, but to talk about how important a film is, for example, or how bold a film is without actually talking about the quality of the film, then this is the way to do it. The most recent example that I saw was the critical treatment of Us by Jordan Peele, where his first movie, which I thought was, effective. I didn't like it, but I critiqued it. I thought that it had serious racial flaws. I thought that it was actually racist in many ways, because the implication of the film seemed to me to be that if you're a black person who's being dated by a white person and the white person's family tries to take you in, they're actually trying to steal your soul and make you not a person anymore and trying to destroy you as a human. I had serious problems with that premise, but the film itself works and is good. So Get Out, at least I thought was well made. The critics' treatment of Us made me not want to see it, because the critical treatment of Us was, he's such a great filmmaker, Jordan Peele, and he's got so much potential. And while he didn't fulfill all of his potential here, he has some important things to say. When people say has some important things to say, I immediately signal this is a bad film. Why are so many critics hesitant to actually just critique a film?
You didn't want to see a horror movie about income inequality? You weren't interested in seeing that movie? Look, let's just be real here. My favorite show on television is Atlanta. I think Atlanta is absolutely a knockout. I think it's beautiful. I think it's brilliant. And it's all about style. It laces its ideology and its commentary through a beautiful style that is enveloping, that is rich, that is deeply moving. I think that when you get down to, again, a kind of pure ideology overtaking your film or your content, you have a real problem there. And I do think, again, look, I got called out as being racist when I said something about Black Panther on my podcast. 30 seconds on my podcast. I said something about Black Panther. I said something about I'm sick of Disney or Marvel, pushing this movie as a masterpiece when, of course, they're pushing it because it's a first, because it's about representation. And apparently no one heard me talk about how I loved the opening images of Wakanda, and I thought the blackness was the most interesting thing about the movie. It just is another subpar Marvel movie, and that's what it is. And we just can't really pretend that doesn't exist. Or you can, if you want. But I do think the most disturbing thing this year was the critical reaction and evaluation of Us. It was a moment where you realize that there's another world. There's this secret world where everyone is either so scared of not calling out something on what it is, because I really don't know anybody who liked Us, and I know a lot of people who went and saw it. And I think that we're in this land where the critical consensus had to be that if you didn't love the movie and treat it with the utmost seriousness, which I'm not sure it really deserves, you were going to be not only not woke, but you were also going to be racist. But this whole thing of being racist for not liking black-themed content or not liking a black movie has really spread out into the whole society. So everything is now racist. Everyone is now racist. You're racist. I'm racist. Katy Perry is racist. Bette Midler puts out a tweet. She's racist. I mean, we've gotten into a world where real racism seems to be like, so diluted and watered down, and we're now talking about it in cultural events and people reacting to movies or a pair of shoes or whatever. We've really lost control of that narrative. But getting back to what you're saying about Us, I think that was the moment this year where you realized that there is a team and that they're all playing kind of the same game.